Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today, we are covering Dead Before Dawn. Don't ask what just happened right before. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. So we're drinking this. We're both drinking.
It's gonna be great.
Tea.
It's gonna be great.
And it's the Bigelow Mint Medley. It's got peppermint, spearmint, rose hips, lemon peel, and hibiscus.
We just ate, so it's nice to have something light and refreshing.
Yeah, because we had a very heavy meal.
Mint is good for
delicious.
the digestion.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, so for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. Anyways, for the summary, I swear, why is it every single time we come back from lunch, we're always off the wall?
We?
No, okay, I'm off the wall.
Your energy level spikes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Mine does too sometimes. I feel like it depends on what we've had. But I'm good. Honestly, I'm good for a nap. I'm nice and content.
So, boy watches over grandpa's shop. Boy's friend group comes to shop. They dump over cursed relic / skull thing with powder and oh no.
Those are cremated ashes, but okay.
Well, but they
release an evil spirit.
Yes. And
mock it.
Yes.
It curses them. And they have to undo the curse.
Yes. Yep. That's it. That's the summary.
I help.
So for entertainment, let me preface this by saying, I know me and Jess have differing taste in comedy, and
it's okay.
I don't know why. Like, I want to like this movie because it seems up my alley, but the way that they do it, like...
I was the one that requested this, by the way.
I tend to like... I don't know. It's like, I totally admit I like stupid movies, but for some reason, like, they have to have a certain criteria, and I don't even understand what that criteria is.
I feel like it varies depending on your mood.
I don't know. I was in the mood to laugh. I wasn't watching it grumpy. but I think it's because okay. So forgive me, friend. I give it a 6.5.
That's fine. It wasn't quite your cup of tea. I get it. This one doesn't hurt as much as that other review. Yeah. This one doesn't hurt as much. It's okay.
It's like, yeah, so I went in with pretty low expectations. I mean, the cover just gives it away. And overall, it just wasn't really my type of comedy. The movie leans heavily into horror and comedy tropes, which is fine, but it doesn't really bring anything new to the table. Like,
was it a little too campy for you, maybe?
Yeah, it was just a little bit too stupid, but it wasn't like for example, like Tucker and Dale, like, for example.
That one's a tough one to beat, let's be fair.
Like, it's stupid And it plays into the tropes, but it does it in a way that makes it feel unique and it makes it really memorable. While this one is just a normal type of storyline, but they make it just over the top and stupid. And it didn't really stick out to me. Yeah.
That's fair.
Of course, the characters are very much fit the typical archetype. For some reason, like in the flow of the movie, I did like it a little bit better once the cheerleader became a Zeman. Like that like improved the movie for me. And it's not because I didn't like I didn't like the cheerleader, but it's like
she was a little annoying.
Yeah. But she wasn't the only character I didn't like. But it's like, I don't know, the jokes that they had around her, that's kind of, the type of comedy I was wanting. And it felt like everything else was falling a little bit more flat for me. Yeah, it's like, I guess one good way to put it is it sticks to the tropes, but doesn't really like subvert them or expand them. And so I think...
So it's just a little too rigid with them?
Yeah, and I think that's why the jokes kind of fall flat for me, because it's like it's what you're expecting it to be, and the whole formula with a joke is it's supposed to be what you're not expecting rather than what you are expecting,
or at least lean into it a little heavier depending on the situation.
Yeah, it's like, even though they were leaning into the tropes, it still was like fair. It still felt surface level, I guess, is the best
There
way.
wasn't much depth to it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it all did occur in one night.
Yes.
Wasn't exactly a lot of time for character development.
Which does bring me to mention, because they kind of let everything reset. I mean, it does have that like slight twist at the end and be like, oh no. But with everything kind of resetting, it also kind of made it feel like, I don't know, there weren't really a lot of stakes either. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so that's what I felt.
That's fair. This is not my first watch, obviously. And I enjoy this movie for what it is, like superficially. It is there is no depth to this movie. It's just one to have fun with. Hold on, sorry. There. This movie is 100% meant to be stupid and funny and not to be taken seriously at all. The realism is basically non-existent. The entertainment, however, if you can set aside all of the glaring "this would not happen" issues, it can be high, especially when watching with friends that are also not taking it seriously. When I first watched it, it was on my own, and it was really kind of stupid. And I kind of sort of liked it. It went up, though, after I watched it with my husband, and we were both making fun of it the entire time. And that was a lot of fun to me. Since then, I feel like that in particular has made it better. Just remembering watching it with Chris and making fun of it. So it helps when you are sitting there with someone else who is also not taking it seriously at all. And just having a good time.
Yeah, see, that was my intention with my husband, but he also was kind of shitting on the movie like I was, and so I think that kind of worked against. Yeah, like we were both like, this isn't even funny. Like, it was like over halfway through, and we were both kind of like done with the movie. I was like,
yeah. So anyway, I feel like Christopher Lloyd did a decent job as the grandfather.
I did appreciate that they included him.
But he usually does a good job. And especially in those silly roles, he plays those really well. The acting on the whole was okay for what it was. There were a couple of characters that I'm like, I could have done without them altogether. Like the cheerleader chick. But, and a couple of them just seemed extraneous.
Yeah.
But, again, if it's just one to poke fun at and have fun with, the concept itself of the story is kind of interesting. I do agree them retconning everything is a bit of a cheat at the end. It's like, what was the point of it? I do appreciate that they at least kept all of those memories. Mm-hmm. So it was like a lesson learned kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Instead of none of this matters at all kind of thing. That, I feel like, makes it a little bit better. But it is a bit of a cheat, I will admit. And I do also think that it helped as well that they didn't know that was going to happen. So it made it more impactful to the characters themselves. Because if they knew that if they succeeded, they were just going to go back and everything was going to be fine, and the people that had died weren't going to be dead, that everything was going to be as it was before it all happened, I feel like they wouldn't have taken it as seriously, and it wouldn't have gone as well.
Yeah.
So, that helped a little bit, but it is admittedly a bit of a cheat. So, but it's just an all-around, like, fun. It felt honestly like a D&D one-off. And they were just trying to figure out how to kill the big bad, or fix the situation rather, and have a happy ending, or as close to a happy ending as they could.
Yeah.
So that's how I viewed it mostly, and I feel like that made it a little better for me. So I don't know if I gave my rating, but I give it a 7.
Okay. Yeah, you did.
Okay. So, but again, that's after a few viewings. It started out lower. It got a bit better.
That's how it sometimes happens.
Again, it's a very superficial 7. Like, this movie has no depth. There is none. It's just an all-round fun kill time movie.
Yes. Well, I think we already alluded to the realism being pretty low.
Yeah.
I give it a 0.5, I think. Because it's like, I don't know.
It's hard to give it a rating when it retcons everything, too.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, I mean, even the character reactions aren't, like, they're not off the charts unbelievable, but they are, like, more extreme. I mean, it's a comedy. I think her food just dispensed. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, between the Zemans and how they die and how they
how you can make them your slave.
Yeah. I mean, they also, of course,
they did set forth the rules.
Yes,
and they did adhere to the rules.
Yes, they did.
Which I appreciate, because we reviewed one recently where they did not adhere to the rules that they set forth.
I did appreciate that.
So, there is that at least.
Yes. My hair's
even if the rules themselves were kind of stupid.
Yes. But, I mean, they were, as they set it up, it is supposed to be stupid.
Yeah.
So. Yep, that's what I got from realism. I don't have a lot of substance to say.
Yep, there's not a lot of substance in the movie.
Yeah.
I gave it a 1, so not far off. I'm surprised, honestly, that I gave it higher than you, but
yeah,
it is what it is. So starting from the top, the urn is the cause of death for the grandfather's son or son-in-law. I can't remember if they were directly related or not. And he's not going to find a different, safer place for the urn to be. Maybe instead of at the top shelf, at the edge of the shelf in a public shop, he could put it somewhere else. In a locked cabinet, at least. Mm-hmm. Where it's, you know...
in a cellar or something.
Smaller chance of falling. You know, that's fine. Movie's got a movie moment a little bit. You have
wrap it around with saran wrap.
Bolt it down. Something. Also, in no world ever does the main character look like he would survive 30 seconds on a football field. Unless it is on the sidelines as staff or a water or towel boy. So his excuses to his grandfather. Also, he can't catch for shit. Throughout like the whole movie, he makes one catch. One. At the end. So, you know, it's fine. This is fine. It just was, he could have come up with better excuses than... And I know he then says, oh no, I got out of football practice because I dislocated my appendix. Just whatever. Again, stupid, funny movie. The French kissing in this movie is so gross and uncomfortable to watch. It's like the grossest and worst French kisses ever. But again, at least they did put forth that rule, and they stuck by it. They did not break it. And they were consistent with it, as gross as it was. I did have to wonder... There were so many things that I was like, that's not how this works. So I didn't mention everything. I'm just putting like a lot of the glaring things. So the assignment he was supposed to do and have in to the teacher, I feel like it should have already been done. Because he said by the morning, like, to have it in by. But he leaves at some point. And, like, once he leaves and is done grading and is gone, that's basically it. Like, that's the cutoff time. So by morning doesn't really have a whole lot of weight. Like, it would already be over at that point.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and if the assignment is weighted that heavily, then he was already screwed. And it would not have happened. But I feel like if it did keep him from graduating, they were in college. So he could just take another semester. Like, it wasn't as pressing of a thing as they kept trying to make it. It's not like high school where you're going to have to do a whole nother year or anything like that. Like, it's... You effed up for one semester in one class. Like, it'll be fine. You can take another semester. And it's with a different teacher, preferably. Because clearly you aren't doing well with that one.
Yeah.
And it'll be okay. Like, it's not a big deal. It sucks because college is ridiculously expensive. So the cost alone is a problem. But, like...
And you'd rather not have to take the class
again. Really rather not have to take it again.
But if you have to...
It's not as big of a deal as they're trying to make it out to be. Also, there were a few other people there at the end with access to the grenade. So why does it have to be the main dude that uses it? Especially since the chick with the arrow in her chest was on her way out to begin with. At that point, you might as well. You might as well. it's still a sacrifice. You might be on your way out anyway, but it's still a sacrifice. So, whatever. And again, convenient how everything gets basically retconned and none of it ever happened. But we still have memory of it. So that's the thing. And then I counted off, because once again, at the very end of the movie, why in the hell is the urn still at the top shelf at the very edge in a public shop? They barely bumped the shelf and it fell over.
Which, what kind of, like, measly IKEA, like, or Target, like, shelf do they have?
You need to bolt that to the wall.
Yeah.
That's a hazard, sir.
Yeah.
That is a liability issue waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So, a lot of movies got a movie moments. Some things were very convenient. They were able to dig to the grave fairly quickly, I feel like, with only a couple of people. And honestly, it didn't look as far down as it should have been.
Oh no, it was like, it looked
It
like
looks like
maybe
3
a
or 4
foot.
feet.
Yeah, like it was not.
Well, they
especially-
were like in there up to their waist at least. So I feel like 3.
I guess I was thinking whenever
3
they dumped
feet-ish.
the one of the football players, the bees guy, in there.
Yeah, that was after they had already started kind of like filling it in, I think. But I'm sorry, that scene was just funny. It was so stupid. It was so stupid how they act right before they're trying to unalive themselves. But that one in particular was just funny. So, anyway, that's what I had. The realism is not... It's almost non-existent.
Yeah.
But it's still fun to watch. Preferably with someone else with a similar sense of humor. And you're not taking it seriously and just poking fun at it.
Good for a party.
It is.
Well, thank you for joining us, and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord server. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
Yeah. If you'd like to support the podcast, please comment, like, subscribe, and share our content. We also have a Teespring and a PayPal donate button available if you'd like to support us monetarily. And you can find all of those sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy.
Bye!
Bye!